All right, you ready to dive in today? It's a big one. We're tackling visualization.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we've got some seriously interesting stuff to unpack here. You know how they say seeing is believing?
Right.
Well, we're flipping the script today. We're talking about how believing is seeing. How by vividly picturing our goals as already achieved, we can actually make them happen.
You got it. And that's where visualization comes in. It's not just daydreaming, spacing out about winning the lottery.
Yeah.
This is focused, deliberate. It's about creating a crystal clear picture in your mind of exactly what you want and experiencing it as if it's already your reality.
So we're talking about engaging your imagination in a very specific way, almost like a mental rehearsal for success.
Yeah, exactly. And the really cool thing, and this is where the science comes in, is that our brains process these vividly imagined experiences almost like they're real events.
Whoa, hold on. So you're saying my brain can't really tell the difference between something I've strongly visualized and something that's actually happened.
That's what the research suggests. It's pretty wild, right? But this isn't just some new age theory. I mean, think about top athletes, CEOs, creatives at the top of their game.
Right.
A lot of them swear by visualization. They use it to refine their skills, prep for big moments, even overcome setbacks. So clearly there's something powerful going on here.
Okay, you've got me hooked. So where do we even begin? How do we actually tap into this power of visualization and use it to, level up our own lives?
Well, first, let's look at the why. The nuts and bolts of how visualization works. The source material goes into this in detail, and it all comes down to our brains.
Okay.
Our brains are incredibly adaptable, constantly rewiring themselves based on our experiences. And when we vividly imagine something, especially if we do it repeatedly, it's like we're creating a new neural pathway, like we're actually experiencing it.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So if I'm constantly picturing myself absolutely crushing a presentation, nailing every point, feeling confident and in control,
Right.
my brain is basically starting to wire itself for that success even before I step on stage.
Yeah. Exactly. You're laying the groundwork. The mental rehearsal strengthens those neural connections, making it more likely you'll actually perform that way in the real world.
That's pretty amazing. So it's like practicing in your mind can actually translate to better results in reality.
Absolutely. And there are tons of studies to back this up, particularly with athletes. You've got basketball players visualizing sinking free throws, swimmers picturing perfect strokes, golfers seeing that hole in one before they even swing, and their performance measurably improves.
So it's not just wishful thinking. There's real science behind it.
Yeah.
So beyond performance enhancement, what else can visualization help with?
Well, think about anxiety and stress. We all deal with it, right? The sources talk about how visualization can be a really powerful tool for managing those feelings.
Yeah, well, so.
Let's say you've got a big presentation coming up, you're nervous, maybe even a little terrified.
I've been there.
Instead of letting those nerves take over, you can use visualization. Picture yourself walking into that room feeling calm and composed, delivering your presentation with confidence, seeing the audience engaged and interested.
So it's like you're pre-experiencing the success, and that helps to calm those pre-game jitters.
Exactly. You're basically teaching your brain and your body how to respond in a positive way even before the actual event happens.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer. So we've got the science, the brain rewiring, the stress reduction. But how does all of this actually lead to, achieving your goals?
Well, the sources talk about visualization as a mindset shift. When you're constantly visualizing success, you're focusing your brain on the positive outcome. You're building a stronger belief that it's actually possible.
So it's about training your mind to see the possibilities instead of getting stuck on the doubts or the obstacles.
Exactly. And that belief fuels your confidence. It reminds you of your strengths and your potential. It keeps you focused on what you want to achieve even when things get tough.
It's like you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you can do it, so you're more likely to take the actions that'll make it happen.
Right. And then there's the mental rehearsal aspect. This is where you can really start to strategize. Visualize yourself in different situations, whether it's a tough negotiation, a creative project, anything you're working towards.
So instead of just picturing the end goal you're walking through the entire process, the steps involve the challenges you might face.
Exactly. And by mentally rehearsing these scenarios, you're better prepared to handle them when they come up in real life.
It's like having a mental playbook for success. You've already run through different scenarios, so you're not caught off guard when things don't go exactly as planned.
That's a great way to put it. And the sources also talk about how visualization can help with setting goals. Not just dreaming big, but actually breaking those big dreams down into smaller, actionable steps.
Okay, I'm curious about that. So let's say my goal is to run a marathon. How does visualizing myself crossing the finish line actually help me with the, months of training leading up to it?
Well, as you vividly picture that moment of triumph, you start to think about the path that got you there. You see yourself putting in the miles week after week, pushing through those tough runs, staying disciplined with your diet.
So it's like the visualization helps you connect the dots between the ultimate goal and the daily actions required to achieve it.
Exactly. And it makes those actions feel more meaningful because you have that clear picture of why you're doing them.
Okay, I'm sold on the power of visualization.
Yeah.
But let's get practical here. How do we actually do it effectively? What are the key techniques?
The sources outline a few really powerful techniques. The first one is all about specificity. It's not enough to just have a vague idea of success. You need to create a crystal clear picture in your mind.
Okay, so let's say I'm visualizing a successful business pitch.
Mm.
I shouldn't just imagine myself in a boardroom. I need to go deeper.
Exactly. Picture the specific boardroom, the people sitting at the table, the slides you're presenting. Feel the confidence in your voice, hear the positive responses from the investors. The more detail you can bring into your visualization, the more powerful it becomes.
So it's about engaging all of your senses, not just sight. Like I can almost smell the fresh coffee in the room, feel the weight of the presentation folder in my hand.
Precisely. The more real you can make it feel in your mind, the more your brain will respond to it as if it's actually happening.
Okay, that makes sense. What else should we keep in mind?
Consistency. The sources emphasize that visualization is a practice. Like anything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it. They recommend setting aside even just 5 or 10 minutes each day to focus on your visualizations.
So it's not a one and done kind of thing. It's about making it a regular habit.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. Even short bursts of focused visualization can have a big impact over time.
Okay, consistency. Got it. Any other techniques?
Yes. Visualize in different scenarios. Don't just picture everything going perfectly. Imagine potential challenges or obstacles that might come up and how you would overcome them.
So it's about mental preparation for the tough stuff too.
Yeah.
Like if my business pitch gets some pushback from investors,
Yeah.
I've already visualized myself staying calm, addressing their concerns, and turning the situation around.
Exactly. That way, when you encounter those challenges in real life, they don't completely derail you. You've already practiced how to handle them.
It's like having a mental game plan for anything life throws your way.
Okay.
What else?
Last and not least, don't forget about emotions. When you're visualizing success, really allow yourself to feel the joy, the excitement, the sense of accomplishment. Those positive emotions make the visualization even more powerful.
It's like you're anchoring the vision to those positive feelings, making it more tangible, more real. Okay, so we've got specific detailed visualizations, consistency visualizing in different scenarios, and tapping into those powerful emotions. That's a great roadmap. Now, how can visualization help us when things inevitably don't go as planned?
That's a great question, and the sources actually address this directly. They say visualization isn't just about picturing smooth sailing. It's also about mentally rehearsing how you'll handle obstacles before they even show up.
So instead of just visualizing the perfect presentation, I should also visualize what I'll do if I get a tough question from the audience, or if my technology fails.
Exactly. By mentally preparing for those challenges, you're building resilience. You're teaching yourself to stay calm, think clearly, and find solutions even when things get tough.
It's like you're giving yourself a mental vaccine against stress and setbacks.
I love that analogy. And the sources also talk about how visualization can help you reframe failure. Instead of seeing it as a complete disaster, you can start to view it as a learning opportunity, a stepping stone on the path to success.
Because you've already visualized yourself bouncing back,
Yeah.
learning from those experiences, and coming back stronger.
Right. And when those inevitable moments of doubt or discouragement creep in, having a clear and compelling visualization of your end goal can help you stay motivated. It reminds you of why you're putting in the work and keeps you focused on what you want to achieve.
It's like having a mental compass that always points you back in the right direction. Now, I know there's a concept that's often linked with visualization,
Yeah,
the law of attraction. Can you break that down for us?
absolutely. The law of attraction, as it's explained in the sources, is the belief that positive thoughts and mental images can attract positive experiences into your life. But it's not just about wishful thinking.
Right. It's not like you just sit around thinking, I want $1 million,
Yeah.
and poof, it appears in your bank account.
No, definitely not. The sources emphasize that action is crucial, but the idea is that by focusing on the positive, by consistently visualizing your desired outcomes, you're essentially aligning your energy with those outcomes.
So it's like you're putting out a signal into the universe, a signal that says, I'm ready for this. I'm open to this.
Exactly. And according to the law of attraction, that signal can attract opportunities and resources that help you achieve your goals.
So it's not about passively wishing for things to happen. It's about actively creating the conditions for success.
Right. And the sources also talk about how visualization can reprogram your subconscious mind. By consistently picturing your goals as already achieved, you're sending a message to your subconscious that they are possible, that you are capable of achieving them.
It's like you're planting the seeds of success deep within your mind.
And those seeds can grow into powerful beliefs and behaviors that drive you towards your goals.
Okay, I'm starting to see how visualization and the law of attraction can work together. But let's talk about some real-world examples. The sources mention some pretty inspiring success stories, right?
Oh, yeah. They dive into some amazing examples. One that really stood out to me was Michael Phelps. I mean, we all know he's the most decorated Olympian of all time. But what's fascinating is that he used visualization religiously throughout his career.
Like he would mentally rehearse every detail of his races down to the precise movements, the feel of the water, the roar of the crowd.
Exactly. And he even visualized overcoming potential obstacles. Like in one of his races, his goggles actually filled with water. But because he had already mentally prepared for that scenario, he didn't panic. He just kept swimming and he ended up winning the gold medal.
That's incredible. It shows how powerful visualization can be, even in high-pressure situations.
Yeah.
What other examples do they talk about?
They also highlight Oprah Winfrey. She's someone who came from very humble beginnings, but always had this incredibly strong vision of herself achieving great things. She visualized having her own talk show, connecting with people, inspiring them, and it eventually became her reality.
It's like she willed it into being through the sheer power of her belief and her visualization.
And then there's Steve Jobs. I mean, he was known for his visionary thinking, his ability to see the future of technology, and he was a huge proponent of visualization. He would spend hours picturing new Apple products, how they would look, how they would function, how people would use them.
And those visualizations became the blueprints for some of the most iconic and revolutionary products in history.
Exactly. So these examples show that visualization isn't just some woo-woo concept. It's a tool that's been used by some of the most successful people in the world to achieve extraordinary things.
Okay, those stories are super inspiring. So how can our listeners start incorporating visualization into their own lives and start turning those visions into reality?
The sources offer some really practical advice. They say the key is to make visualization a daily habit. Dedicate even just 5 minutes each day to focusing on your goals and picturing them as already achieved.
So it's about carving out that time, even if it's just a few minutes, to really connect with your vision.
And then the sources say the most important step is to take action. Don't just visualize it, do something about it. Every single day, identify at least one small step you can take that moves you closer to your goal, and then do it.
So it's about turning those mental images into concrete actions. It's about bridging that gap between the vision and the reality.
And don't be afraid to start small. Even those seemingly insignificant actions add up over time. And as you start seeing progress, as you start witnessing your vision taking shape, it reinforces your belief and it fuels your motivation to keep going.
It's like a positive feedback loop. The more you visualize and take action, the more confident you become and the more likely you are to achieve your goals.
Exactly. And the sources actually offer a challenge. They call it the 30-day visualization challenge. For the next 30 days, commit to 5 minutes of daily visualization. Write down your goals. Picture them in vivid detail, and each day take at least one action, no matter how small, that aligns with those goals.
So it's about making a commitment to the practice and seeing how it can transform your life over the next month.
Exactly. And I think the key takeaway here is that visualization isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about using your imagination as a powerful tool to shape your reality.
So you ready to give it a try?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, you two. We challenge you to join us. For the next 30 days, make visualization a part of your daily routine. See those goals, feel those emotions, and most importantly, take action. And as you do pay attention to the shifts, you experience the opportunities that arise, the momentum that builds. What you focus on expands. So choose to focus on the extraordinary.
So now that you've got this powerful tool in your mental toolkit, think about it. How are you going to use it? What's that one audacious goal you're going to visualize with crystal clarity and unstoppable determination? And what's the very first step you're going to take today to make it happen? The power is in your hands. Now go out there and create the life you truly desire.